who have just come online. And yes, 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 yes. We got the chat flowing on YouTube. I got this. Y'all are going to laugh at me. You're going to laugh at me. But you know how I always lose my voice on these streams? So I got a mug. It's grumpy. All right. The dwarf. But I like it because it looks like Bernie Sanders. Hot tea in here. Oh, it's really good. Woo. Yes. So we are going to let some folks stream in here, jump on Facebook, and we will let folks jump on YouTube, and we'll talk a little bit about the nonsense that we're dealing with, thanks to our wonderful politicians in Washington passing relief bills with money we don't have. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's coming up, what we plan on doing. We'll talk about what we'll talk about DC, the January 6th extravagance. So we got YouTube fired up. We got Facebook fired up. What do we got here? I got a text that came in apparently. Oh, this is something that's fantastic. Okay, so we have that. We're just gonna let a few more people jump on, and then we'll start rolling. But and to everybody at YouTube, I see you guys. You're saying hi. I see you guys here on Facebook. Y'all are saying hi. And we're going. You guys were funny, by the way. If you're on Instagram, some of those questions that y'all were sending me were hilarious. I got to tell you that much. Pretty funny stuff, people. Wonderful people, I have to say. Beautiful people. We're talking about talented. We're talking about really fantastic, we're saying. Really fantastic people, I have to tell you. Anybody from the Georgia or North Carolina loud majority? Anybody watching from Georgia or NC? You guys watching? Anybody? See, that tea is really good. It's like some citrusy craziness. Put a little whiskey in it. So it's pretty good. All right. So let's get started, right? Let's talk about it. I am not happy today. A little angry, a little upset. Not like depressed or down, but I'm a little I'm fired up. I'm pissed. Because $900 billion, $900 billion, we just spent $900 billion of money we don't have. And we're getting $600 checks. And I'm not asking for more money. I'm not asking for money at all. I'm saying is we're getting laughed at now. The government's just straight up laughing at us. Yo, let's give them $600 checks. Straight up laughing. Yo, let's just spend absurd amounts of money everywhere else and give these guys 600. It's who do they think they are, right? $700 million going to Sudan in a COVID relief bill. Sudan. All this money going to Pakistan. Wow, Pakistan. What's going on in Pakistan? It was some sort of gender studies something or other in Pakistan that we just funded in the COVID bill. That's cool, right? Millions of dollars, billions of dollars being spent on foreign military aid. Egypt, all the Saudi. Why? See, this is why I'm grumpy. See? Hell, and this is like Bernie too. Healthcare. Look, see? Healthcare. Right? So the bottom line is this bill that's been passed, or that's being proposed. I don't know if it's been passed yet. This thing, I would love to veto this thing, because this is the real problem that we're going to have. It's this fact that we're spending all this money and we don't have the money. It's like, well, why would the government spend it if they don't have it? Because they're all getting it back. It's money laundering. It's a very It's so dirty. It is so dirty. So that's where we're at. This stimulus bill is full of what they call pork garbage, just nonstop garbage in this bill. And this should tell you, well, on both sides of the aisle, with the exception of a very few Congress, very few representatives who are actually representing your best interests. There's very few of them. You're talking about now both sides of the aisle, Republicans, Democrats, passing this monster of a bill, this like absurdity, this monumental absurdity of a bill, because they don't care about you. They don't give a damn about you. They give a damn about your vote. They pander to you every 4 years or 2 years if it's a congressman, 6 years, whatever it is. The grumpy mug. These guys never missed a paycheck. You're going to tell me that Congress is composed of essential workers? I mean, come on now, right? So they pass a $900 billion bill. We're getting $600 checks. People on both sides of the aisle are like, all right, come on. That's the best you can do? President Trump proposed $1,200 again in a standalone bill before the election, but Nancy Pelosi didn't want to let him have a win, so she stopped it and then cut it in half. So, listen, we're getting close to the point where we're just going to have to really erupt and say no. They're spending money that they don't have, that we don't have, and it's just it's a slap in the face to everybody. Slap in the face. You know, you do what you need to do at the end of the day, but it's a slap in the face. And I think what we need to do is push for a couple of, instead of candidates, we may need to just start pushing for issues now. We, the people, are supposed to create the platform, right? We, the people, are supposed to create the platform. We're supposed to be the ones who determine what our elected what issues are important to our elected representatives, because it's supposed to be the issues that are important to us, right? So we're supposed to create the platform. The platform needs to be things like voter ID. The platform needs to be things like well, wow, what was I talking about? It was voter. What were we talking about? Oh my God. See, I just had a Biden moment. Voter ID, spending. You know, we have to create the platform. We have to create the ideas that our representatives go to Washington and talk about. We can't keep doling out billions upon billions of dollars in foreign aid when our own people are starving. We can't keep doling out billions upon billions of dollars in a bill that's supposed to be COVID related. And we can't allow the same people every time they're getting elected to just pander for votes and then get reelected. We have to determine what items on the platform they're going to push for. Voter ID is a big one. Voter ID would solve a lot of problems. You know what's another big one? And this is going to be the toughest one. But I think this is the most important one. And that is congressional term limits. Think about it. If these guys have a hard cap for how long they're allowed to serve in Congress. They can't turn elected office into a job that perpetually lines their pockets over the course of 30, 40, 50 years. Joe Biden was in politics in Washington for 48, 47, 48 years. And we know now how he enriched himself and his family while in office. Doesn't happen potentially with term limits. But this is why I love people like Rand Paul and Ted Cruz. These guys have openly called for instituting term limits. The problem is the rest of Congress will never vote to take away its own power. We have to push for it. That's the way you hold these people accountable and continue pushing. Mass civil disobedience and mass civil disobedience may have to lead to massive civil disruption. We may have no choice. But we need term limits. We need the voter ID. We need to get the spending under control. And a lot of people were talking about Antifa and why is Congress so hesitant to do this? Why was the Supreme Court hesitant to see the case? Or are they being intimidated? Maybe they are being intimidated. Just goes to prove the theory that if government does not hear you, government will not fear you. We need to continue to be heard. And that is my goal, not just here in New York, but for conservatives from coast to coast. We've had this discussion before. We need to all be heard. It's hard, though. We can't all get together. We try sending messages and posts and trying organizing through social media. It gets censored. So the lines of communication are blurred. Facebook shuts you down, then you have to rebuild. Everything's all over the place for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but it's what must be done. When I say that the loud majority is here to stay, I'm not just talking about rallies and a Facebook group and a live stream or a podcast or just, hanging out. It's an ideology at this point that needs to stay. Do you remember how confident we were in Montauk, how confident we were in Eisenhower Park of how successful our movement was, on how powerful what we were doing was? You remember that feeling? That doesn't need to go away. They pulled the rug out from underneath us. They stole an election. I get all of this. But the feeling doesn't need to go away. That boldness, that comfortability, that drive. I'm not saying let's go out there and rally in 20-degree weather. That's not what I'm calling for. But it's staying engaged. It's staying in communication. It's staying confident, staying informed, turning off the media, going out and getting the information yourself, doing the things that know you're going to put you ahead of the game when it comes to information and facts and what's really going on. And to those of you who feel it absolutely necessary to continue to take a stand, then continue to take that stand, whether it's ideologically, whether it's physically out at a street corner. But we have the winter coming, and it's going to be tough. I'm telling you that they're floating this idea out now with a second strain now, and they're just setting the table for another lockdown. But I will tell you this. They lock this state down again. Watch me. Listen. If they lock this state down again, I'm telling you right now, we're going to put more people on the road than we've ever put on the road before. I will tell you right now. Not just on the road, too. We'll be everywhere. There will not be another lockdown in this state, that we're going to abide by. I'll be out. I was going to open rallies, reopen the state. I went to a reopen the state rally here in New York. Back in May, I went to one in Connecticut. In June, we will do incredible things come spring. If this state is locked down, and if it's not locked down, we're still going to go out and rally. We're trying to get Cuomo out. We're trying to sway opinions and keep the message going and keep the volume high. But I'm telling you right now, this is not the time. I know things don't look great. January 6th is looming. January 20th is looming. What's going to happen? Are they going to dispute it? What's the Supreme Court doing? Does Trump have a chance? Look, nothing is said and done until the 26th. It's a tough fight. It's an uphill battle. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I will be in D.C. that day. I will be in D.C. that day. Because I want to be there. I want to be there on that moment in time, in that moment in history. I want to be there no matter which way it goes. You see, I'm fascinated by this entire scenario. I'm absolutely fascinated by it. It's one of the craziest movies in the world. I'm at the edge of my seat. I want to know what's going to happen. Now, someone said, "Oh man, if there was just one big reset button," I agree with you. I'd love to hit that reset button, but not till I see how this thing ends. I'm captivated by this story. You have to think about what we're living through. This is setting up. We're on the brink of the crisis of our generation. I'm 29. Those of you guys in my age group, you get it. The crisis of our generation is most likely right on our doorstep. I'm not trying to be, but it's kind of a little exciting to see how this plays out. Who's going to step up? What is history going to say? Is history going to even be accurate when they write it? What's going to come of conservatives and traditional Americans? Are we going to get swept away and forgotten about? I'll tell you this, not if this group has anything to say about it. Not if this group has anything to say about it. And I hope everybody agrees. I hope you guys are ready to take a stand with me. Not violently. We're a non-violent group, folks. We're a non-violent. We are a peaceful group. We are civil disobedience. This is what we do. Class, dignity, and pride. That hasn't changed. Okay? And my voice is holding up. That tea is delicious. And a little Tullamore Dew, little Tullamore Dew. And I see over here, I see it all over, actually. People talking about, the Civil War. I mean, do we really want that? Of course we don't want it. But if we're even thinking, if we're thinking in terms of a civil war, and it's one thing to look down the proverbial rabbit hole, right? To look down at what history, just look into the future for a minute and look down the road and see the paths, which way they diverge, which way they go. I get it. And one path could lead to one thing, one path could lead to another, one path leads to a civil war. I understand that. But if we truly think a civil war is coming, if we think that might be the only way out of this, then the republic is lost. Then the republic has failed. Then this great American experiment is over. I'm not ready to say that yet. So I'm not ready to talk Civil War yet because I don't think that's all that's left yet. We've got a little more that we can do starting on January 6th. Massive, massive civil disobedience. I'm talking, this has got to be the day when tens of millions of people show up in Washington, D.C. This has got to be that day. I understand it. People work. You've got families. You've got things to do. I completely, it's not necessarily the best idea. Washington, D.C., proof has been there, is a dangerous place. But January 6th is going to be a day. January 6th, 2021 is going to be a day that is written about in history. This is it. That's the big one. That's the one that people are going to talk about for a very long time. Will you be there? Can you be there? If you can't be there, it is what it is. But what I would love is for the idea of massive civil disobedience, massive, massive assembly, massive amounts of people on the streets. I want that idea to be spread everywhere. If you can't make it, urge others to get there. We need tens of millions of people on the street in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Country needs it. Congress can't ignore that. And they ask, how do you know it's going to work? I don't. But I know what won't work, and that's staying home. I know what won't work, and that's surrendering before the last shot is fired. I know what won't work, and that's doing nothing. That's being silent. And massive civil disobedience, massive presence in Washington, D.C., has worked before. Just look at Martin Luther King. We've sat back so many times in the past. We've sat back so many times in the past. We've sat back countless amounts of times in the past. And it's resulted in us losing ground. We can't lose any more ground. We take any more steps back, we're right off the edge. The only way we have is forward. Unfortunately, we got to go head in to a firestorm. Massive civil disobedience. Massive. Act out. Act out. Express your constitutional rights. Use them. Exercise them. There is still a constitution, whether people want to admit it or not, whether Democrats want to admit it or not. This is still our country. January 6th, we have to remind Congress who this country belongs to. Not them who spend $900 billion on God knows what, not related to COVID. It belongs to us. The chumps who you threw $600 at and said, here, do another trick, roll over. Give me paw. Good little dog. Here's another $600. Keep coming back to government for the handout. Only if you do a little trick. It's disgusting where this country has landed. It's absolutely disgusting. but that's for another day. I don't mean to be negative. I really don't mean to be negative, but I mean to be serious. I mean to be very serious about what's happening. I mean, the influence of the Chinese on this country, and that's the CCP. I'm not talking about Chinese people. I'm talking about the CCP. It's so overreaching. It's huge. So that's, I don't mean to, again, I don't mean to be negative. I only mean to be real. So, that's where my focus is right now. It's at January 6th, Washington, D.C., the biggest turnout ever. That's what I want. I only know 21,000 of you on Facebook. It was 38,000 at one point. Only so much we can do from here. But the message can get out. The rallying call can get out. So let's see what we do. For those of you on Facebook, are comments turned off right now? I see no comments coming in. Are comments turned off on Facebook? Maybe somebody's over on YouTube can tell me if comments are turned off on Facebook. That means they're screwing with us again. I don't know if they are or not. In terms of specifics, where we're going to be yet, I don't know yet. But I'll get that information out to you as soon as I know where we're supposed to be meeting. But I do know that I will be going and we will be together. We'll all meet in one spot. We're all going to be together that day. No games. Okay. All right. Let's get to comments are still rolling on Facebook. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not seeing them on my end of the live stream, unfortunately. I just but that's okay. It's interesting. It might just be my phone just acting up. There we go. I see them now. Thank you guys. I missed them all. I see them. All right, cool. So then they're being nice to me. I'm sorry. Comments are still on. Very good. All right, guys. Okay. All right, folks. So the comments are working on Facebook. Cool. Any questions? Any questions right now? Any questions right now? By the way, I told you that I was working on an audio podcast and it is up. It has been accepted by Apple Podcasts. It has been accepted by Spotify so far. We're waiting on the approval from Google Podcasts, Amazon, and Pandora. So the name of it is, what does it say on YouTube now? The name of it is We Will Not Comply. And you will be able to find it on Apple Podcasts so far and Spotify. We Will Not Comply. There's a sample episode up there. So it's been accepted by Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you do find it, listen to that first episode. It's just a sample. If you do find it, share it, please, with all of the other loud majority groups on Facebook, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, your Hudson Valley groups, your Westchester groups. We will also be, I know you're used to seeing, Wednesday night live streams. That is going to change. Wednesday night live streams are going to be. We're still going to be putting out content Wednesday nights, but we're going to be doing a different sort of video content, so we will have that. Coming Friday nights, we'll still try and do everything. As far as a regular schedule with the podcast yet, I'm working out when those are going to be. Obviously, those are not going to be live. Those are going to be recorded and uploaded, and then everybody who can check it out, you can listen to it at your leisure. It's audio only for now. We will not comply. You can look at it on Spotify and Apple for now. It will be on Google shortly. It should be on Amazon shortly, iHeart shortly, Pandora as well. Excuse me. No more tea left. So we will not comply. Apple Podcasts and Spotify for now. There is a sample episode up there. Listen to it. And please, if you can, share it. Share it everywhere because, social media is not going to do, especially my name, but social media is not going to do us any favors. Someone's asking on YouTube if it's on Rumble. It's an audio only right now. It's audio only right now. We may be able to do this. All that. So let's see. So that's it for the podcast. So that's good. That's going to be uploaded soon. People want to know, why is Trump for the vaccine? Why is Trump pushing the Gates vaccine? Why is Trump for the vaccine? I guess he has confidence in it. I mean, he's the one who funded it basically with Operation Warp Speed. I doesn't change the fact that I'm not getting it. I don't want it. I personally don't think for myself it's necessary. Others may feel differently. If Trump feels differently, he's allowed to feel differently. He thinks it's going to work. If he's been led to believe it's going to work, then I trust his judgment. I'm not getting it. So you need a live call-in talk show. This is capable of doing that. This stream is capable of doing that. But there are other methods that we'll look into to make it a little easier. But that's not a bad idea, a live call-in. That's not a bad idea. I mean, I could always set up Skype. The thing is, I have it on two separate things. So I can't stream to Facebook off the computer or else they'll shut me down. So I have Facebook going on my phone and then YouTube going over there and Twitter on the computer. So it'd be hard to kind of merge both streams. So that's that. What else? Other questions? Any other questions, folks? Any other questions? Does anybody else have any other questions that we're going to get to? You see, we look at it. This is Bernie Sanders on the mug. Healthcare, $15 an hour, minimum wage. Oh, man. Nick Vaccaro came up with a great idea. I have to do a TikTok, I guess, on this, or a Nick Knack. Get that app too, Nick Knack. He was talking about how there's two strains now of the virus. He said, throw in Nick Vaccaro from Hudson Valley. Loud majority, Hudson Valley, Nick Vaccaro. He goes, Bernie Sanders would say, excuse me. He said Bernie Sanders would go, all of the states need to get the first strain before anybody can come down with the second strain because we have to have equal people with the virus at all times. Nick said Bernie wants, socialist virus. So basically, everyone has to get the first strain before they get the second strain. Kerry Johnson on Facebook, WABC Live Radio needs to give you a spot. Live radio. Yeah, I agree. We'll be banging. Be fantastic. Hey, look, an email. Let's see what this is about. That's not what I'm looking for. I was hoping it told me Google. Oh, somebody called my hat dopey on Twitter. Let's see. What did she say here? Your dopey hat is blinding you. Yeah, okay, cool. Trump doesn't care about us, she says on Twitter. Wonderful. How nice. Yeah, Nick's the man. Nick's the man. He said that Bernie would say the virus has to be in all states and first rate. It's great. It's really good. We closed down the schools. Yeah, I know. My voice. But Andrew Blay says, "What's up? What's up in Staten Island? Staten Island, love it." My voice is getting bothered by the Bernie. It's hard to do Bernie. It really is. It's very difficult. Any other questions? Anything else? The 6th. Also, there's a March Washington. I'm sorry, New York City on the 10th. I don't have all the information on it yet. When I get it, I will give it to you. I'm not organizing. It's being organized by 3 people that I know. The 10th. Okay. Chris wants to know handles on Twitter and Parler. Okay. Our handle on Twitter and Parler is at LI Loud Majority. LI Loud Majority. Twitter and Parler. Our Freedom Book at Long Island Loud Majority, the group on our Freedom Book. Andrew Blay wants to know if we're going to DC. Yes, we're going to DC, January 6th. Must be real hard for Bernie's. Oh, jeez, I'm not reading that out loud. My handle on Twitter at Sean_Farish, and my handle on Parler is at Sean Farish. Straight up. TikTok and Knickknack at Captain Deplorable. I've kind of gotten the hang of it. So we have that. What else? What else, folks? What else have we got? I got hairy legs. The kids will rub my leg in the pool. The president doesn't have a plan. The battle of COVID. Corn Pop was a bad dude. I can't believe, and now they're saying if he's inaugurated, it's going to be virtual. Who does a virtual inauguration? Because nobody's going to show up for this guy. That's why. Nobody's going to, oh, geez, wow. Nobody's going to show up for Sleepy Joe. If they show up, it's going to be one of my people. I said if he had a real inauguration, we're going to crash it. But I think it sounds like he's going to be doing a virtual one if indeed he does wind up getting sworn in. Still a shot. We'll know after the 6th. That's why we got to be there on the 6th. I mean, it's like a big deal. Sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe. That's correct. Lucille says, and this is over on YouTube, Cuomo can't eat in New York City restaurants. That's true. There was a bunch of restaurants who banned Andrew Cuomo from eating in their place. And, you're going to make a shutdown. You're not allowed in here. Andrew Cuomo. If you guys want to do buses for DC, that's on you. I'm driving down. If anybody wants to organize a bus trip, y'all could do that. What else? I think if you guys own a small business or a restaurant and you can do it, stay open. Stay open. If we do not consent, we will not comply, right? That's what we say. Stay open. DC on the 6th. Let's see. Pierre Piazza on YouTube says any Manhattan trips. There is something going on January 10th. Stay tuned for more details on that. Yes, Trump the slopes, Dana. Trump the slopes. I'm not driving down in the middle of the night, maybe middle of the morning. Trump the slopes. We want to do a ski trip some point in January, February. We go down the ski mountain, with the flags on, maybe. Trump the slopes. So it's not probably going to be in Pennsylvania, like the Poconos area. Camelback, I think, Dana, you were talking about Camelback because they got a sick tubing package. So Trump the slopes will be fun. You guys get to watch me wipe out going down the mountain. The skis go off my feet. I haven't gone skiing in a very long time. But once I get the hang of it, I'm pretty good, competent on the slopes. But Trump the slopes, some point. Yeah, so yeah, it's a loud majority ski trip, the loudest ski trip in America. and we're going to take over the ski lifts. You know, we could do a skiing caravan down the mountain. We could tandem up with the tubes. So think about it, you know, night tubing. It's going to be a real fun time. So I would say get excited. Maybe we'll, you know, I'm not saying maybe. I want to do it. I know there's enough people who want to do it. So we're going to do it. Stephen on Facebook is asking, are you planning on staying in DC for extended time frame if the 6th does not go the way we hope? No. My plan is to go to DC and leave DC. Okay. So I'm going, the protest is happening, whatever happens, happens, and then I'm out of there. There's no craziness that's going to happen in terms of staying in DC. Dana says on January 4th, they open the indoor water park. I just want to know what are the COVID restrictions going to be? Does the virus like water? What about the new strain? Is the new strain waterproof? I don't know. These are all things that we need to learn about the new strain of the virus. There's a new strain coming. So we'll see what they do. But maybe we'll just have a peaceful protest down the mountain with the skis. I want to go skiing. So some place is going to be open. We got to go. Long Island Loud Majority ski trip. Long Island Loud Majority. Trump the Slopes is going to be a fun time. That'll be at some point January, February. Remember, the virus comes out at 10. We got to be careful. And everyone's asking, who's asking about the city, January 10th. I'll get that. I'll get more information to you when I get it made available. I'll be able to put you in contact with the folks who are organizing it for any questions. January 10th, January 6th, DC. Not our event, right? We're just going to participate with the rest of the country to make as much noise outside the Capitol as possible to urge, pressure, leverage Congress into disputing the fraudulent and illegitimate election. Dana says chlorine kills COVID. Dana's encouraging people to drink bleach. I'm just kidding. Don't do it. Loud Majority Leader Sean Farris tells people to drink bleach. No, do not. Trump got in trouble for saying things like this, remember? Chlorine kills COVID. Yeah, well, what about that second strain? The second strain could be like super COVID and chlorine could make it grow. See what I'm saying? The second strain. Ooh, the second strain. Scary, scary. And we're getting shadow banned like hell here on Facebook again. So it's only a matter of time. I think January 6th is going to be probably my last day on Facebook again for a while, because there's going to be a lot of live streaming and saying that 3-word phrase that they don't like. So we'll just see how that goes. But as far as the rest of this week goes, I don't know if we're going to be doing much. Spend the time with your family, with your loved ones. Take some time to kind of reset. All of us reset, regroup. We'll stay together. We got the podcast. We got the live stream. We got the group. And by the way, I know everybody wants to post in the group. I'm going to work on trying to find January 16th is a day that Facebook is telling us that we have to keep post approvals on for. Just wait it out a little bit longer. We'll all be able to post. We have the other Loud Majority groups too in the other states. You guys want to jump in those? I'll look to create a couple of other places to go with Facebook. Guys, if you want to post and you want to be free to do these things, go on our Freedom Book, dude. I'm on there every day. I'm going to start posting exclusive content on there every day. It's really, really, really easy to do. It's faster than Parler too. So I'm on there, regularly. So I would imagine, and I would encourage you guys, you want to post, do it. Steven wants to know what's the 3-word phrase. It's USA. No, the 3-word phrase rhymes with crop the deal. They don't like that phrase. But okay, yeah. So if we don't see each other this week, Thursday's Christmas Eve, Friday's Christmas. You guys have a wonderful, Merry Christmas. Be safe. Enjoy the time with your family. Don't worry about lockdowns. Don't worry about regulations. Things are getting real for a lot of us. And just spend the time you have with your friends and family. But we, maybe we'll put something together on Wednesday at Belmore. Maybe we'll see what happens. But by the way, I saw somebody on Sunrise Highway this morning. I don't know what kind of car it was. It was at around 10 with the Loud Majority decal. And I just have to say how exciting that was for me to see that. I see them all over the place. Friends of mine sending me pictures of people wearing hoodies in different places all across Long Island and whatnot. And it's so cool to see how proud you are to be a part of what we started just a few short months ago. So stay loud, stay proud. I know this was a negative, not really negative, but it was kind of more of a serious stream. But we need to, lay out the reality for a lot of us. And this is what it is, right? So civil disobedience, do not comply if you do not consent. We're going to be out there. We're going to be rallying. We're going to stay together. You see what we can do when we operate as one. Got the holidays coming up. So let's all stay loud, stay proud. Check out We Will Not Comply on Apple and Spotify for now. Share the hell out of it if you can. We Will Not Comply on Apple and Spotify for now. Google's going to be getting it soon. iHeart should be receiving it soon. And Amazon and Pandora should be approving and receiving it soon. We Will Not Comply, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We Will Not Comply. And we will be updating that regularly. And we'll have a way to communicate that way. And I want to turn that into a massive arena for all of us to talk in at the end of the day. Email the show. I'll read them. We'll do a mailbag. We'll do potentially some sort of giveaway. We can do, all sorts of things through We Will Not Comply, which will be one central area where we can get the information about Loud Majority. It updates. You get notifications. One central area. We Will Not Comply, and it will unite the other states: Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. It'll unite everybody. So We Will Not Comply, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. The email is wewillnotcomply1776@gmail.com if you have any suggestions for the show. You guys have a great day. I will probably be talking to you at some point soon. Hey, I may pop over to my personal Instagram at Sean Farish and run a live stream real quick just to hang out with everybody. All right. So I'll see you over there. Maybe in about 10 to 15 minutes. You guys have a great night. Stay in touch, stay engaged. Things are winding down on a planning scale for me. I'm here. I want to talk to everybody. I want the engagement. I want the energy back. It's here. And I want to hit this New Year's as loud as possible. You guys stay loud. You never disappoint. You're the best group and the best political activist family a man could ever ask for. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for what the last 3 months have been and what the future is going to be. Because we have only started to make noise. They think we're loud now. Wait till the 6th and beyond. Adios, folks. I'll see you guys on Instagram. Merry Christmas if I don't see you guys before then. Take it easy. Stay loud.